What's up guys, my name is QueenAshe and welcome to Trans Tips and Where to Find Them. This is the second episode. If you haven't seen the first one, you don't really need to. They're not in in a specific order. Today I'm going to be talking about names because I think this is so important if you're trans. The naming process is so important to your identity, you know, it's what you are known as, it's what represents you. I think it's quite important that you don't have to keep swapping names. Especially if you're not completely out to everyone. You want to stick with the same name. This is often hard with parents because parents often don't like it when you change the name that they gave you. That was what my parents first had an issue with. But, you know, they're completely fine with it now and they're really accepting, which is fantastic. So thank you, Mum and Dad. It's best if your name can stick to you, right? So it doesn't matter if people know you're trans or they don't know you're trans. See, I seem quite masculine when I go to meet people. I've got a very deep voice. I'm quite tall. You know, I've often got a bit of a 5 o'clock shadow going on.
Oh, beautiful.
Thank you. Instead of having to go, my face is too white. Instead of having to swap between, let's say, Terry and Jasmine, if you want to try and, if you're a male to female, if you could stick to one gender-neutral name, it makes the process so much easier because I can go into a bar and I can say, hi, my name's Ashley, and they won't question it because Ashley's a gender-neutral name. I know, probably like 6 or 7 transgender people who stick by this. They have a gender neutral name, which allows them to keep the same name regardless of people's like how they appear. What, like, does that make sense? That makes sense. The problem with having a gender neutral name is that does limit you quite a lot because there are only so many gender neutral names. But if I think once people are completely understanding of you coming out as your desired gender, I think then you can change your name. Like, one of my mates over in America, Daniel, he experimented with loads of names before he settled on Daniel. And he's on testosterone and he looks male and people just know that he's a guy. So, I think in that circumstance, it's completely fine to have a name that is your gender, you know. I just hit the microphone. But I also think it is, obviously your name is so personal to you. It is arguably one of the most personal things. Choosing the name that you want is way more important than choosing a name that fits society. And I understand that. But you might just have to be ready to swap names a lot. So if your dead name was, I don't know, Margaret, and you really wanted the name Jackson, thank you, then you'd have to keep you wouldn't have to keep swapping names, you could just be Jackson. But if people know you as Margaret, they're going to find it quite difficult most of the time to stick with Jackson because it's quite a masculine name, right? It's all about finding what works for you. My face is really white again. It is important to find what works for you. It took me a long time to stick with Ash. My dead name is Jack and I went through a stage where I was Jackie. But I wanted to get away from my dead name. I wanted to leave that self behind and just completely forget about him and just begin my life with Ash, and that's what I've done, and I felt so much better for having done that. Everyone calls me Ash now. I don't know anyone who still refers to me as my dead name, and if they do, it just takes 2 seconds to say, oh, my name's Ash now. I don't even have to say I'm transgender. I can just say my name is Ashley. That's the best part about it. I do generally nowadays tell people I'm trans, even if I'm in a bar, I'll just be like, I'm she. They're usually completely fine with it. I think confidence is another big part of your coming out stage. It also depends on where you live. I can imagine if you live in quite a maybe traditionally religious place, it would be quite difficult to come out to the town. But I think the majority of where I live in England is generally quite accepting. You know, I've come from London area and now I'm living in North Wales and nobody has ever really kicked up a fuss about it. I mean, I've had a few arguments, but nothing too major. Let me know what you think of this in the comments. If you need help with finding a name, there are so many websites out there for gender neutral names especially. All come to me, I'll try my best to help you.
Or me.
Or Alex in the background will also, you can almost see you.
That's my arm.
Thank you very much for watching. Like, subscribe, leave a comment below and hit that bell button because I'm going to be doing this series as much as I can and you'll be the first to know about it. Lucky you. I've got a few ideas lined up for trans tips, but I don't know what you guys want. So if you give me ideas and let me know, I will do. The fuck are you doing? So yeah, let me know. This is ultimately for you guys. Let me know what you want to see, and I will try and produce that to my best ability. Thank you all for watching. My face is white as dicks. Thank you for watching. My name is QueenAshe, And this was Trans Tips.
Okay, thanks, bye.